Everybody, Chef Bates here, and it is time to talk about vegetables. Now, I grew up not loving vegetables. Maybe you did too, and maybe you don't love them now. Heck, a whole bunch of my students think that the vegetable unit is a punishment put on them by, an evil deity. But it's true, vegetables provide nutrition as well as flavor, texture, color. They provide so much variety to a meal. They're not just a side dish, they're a main course all by themselves. They are really important. It's a fact. You can't call yourself a cook if you can't work with vegetables. Like fruits, vegetables are becoming increasingly important as more and more diners put a focus on healthy living and healthy diets. From quick service to fine dining, more vegetables are being incorporated into meals and being put on menus. Even restaurants like Chipotle have vegetarian options. I mean, come on, Chipotle. Seriously. There has also been an increase in people following vegetarian and vegan diets, which has led to a restaurant and food service revolution. Operations are increasing the variety of vegetables they offer. So that's what we're going to look at today. The basic vegetable types and a whole bunch of individual varieties you may or may not know about. Just go with it. It'll be fun, I promise. There are quite a few specialized terms that relate directly to working with vegetables that you need to know. No worries, I'll go over all of them. If you're the kind of person who takes notes, focus on the terms in that first column. Those are the weird ones that will pop up in vegetable quizzes written by evil old chefs. Keep an eye out for those as we go along, especially market forms, the different types of vegetables like the brassica and cruciferous families, alliums, some different chemicals like lycopene, and those cyanins, chlorophyll. It's not so much fun. You're going to have so much fun. Let's do it. So what is a vegetable exactly? A vegetable is an edible herb-like plant. The parts of vegetables that people eat include the leaves, the fruit, stems, roots, tubers, seeds, and flowers. Unlike fruits, if you remember, fruits, we almost never cook them, but vegetables are eaten cooked more often than raw. Raw broccoli? Delicious. With lots of ranch dressing, like a whole lot of it. And my dog has decided to crawl underneath my feet. No, we're not playing ball. We're not playing ball. Lay down. The dog wants to play ball. When we use the term market form, we're referring to how a particular food is prepped prior to sale. There are market forms for meat, for eggs, for just about everything. When it comes to vegetables, there are 6 distinct market forms. There's fresh or whole, raw vegetables. There's organic, convenience foods, frozen, canned, and dried. If you dig a carrot up out of the ground and plop it in a plastic bag like that, the market form is simple. It's raw. If it's grown organically without chemicals or other, pesticides and whatnot, it's organic. Baby carrots, that's a specific market form as well, usually called convenience foods because someone else peeled, and sliced, and diced, or chopped that carrot so you don't have to, and that is certainly convenient. You can buy your carrots frozen. You can get them canned. You can even get them dried. All of these things you probably already knew or could guess. When we talk about categorizing vegetables into related groups, things get a little more tricky. Fruits are grouped by when they're harvested. Like you got your fruits, your summer, your winter, your spring, your tropical fruits. An apple is a fall fruit, for example. An orange is a winter fruit. A watermelon is a summer fruit, and so on. Vegetables aren't categorized that way. They are grouped either by their botanical origins or by their edible parts. Then there are the subclassifications and the overlapping categories and the weird traditional names. It can all get a little confusing, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to speak of vegetables as belonging to one of 6 categories: flower, fruit, green leafy, seed, root and tuber, or stem vegetable. My favorite category of vegetable is also one of the most confusing. It's fruit vegetables. So I thought it was smart to get the hard one out of the way early. Fruit vegetables grow from flowering plants and have seeds, which, botanically speaking, make them fruits. But when we think of how we prepare them or use them from a culinary perspective, we consider them to be vegetables. Then, for some bizarre reason, when chefs categorize them, we'll go back to calling them fruits again. It's weird. The easiest way to remember what's in this family is just remember this. If the vegetable has seeds on the inside and it grew from a flowering plant, it's probably a fruit vegetable. Fruit vegetables include all the peppers: cucumbers, eggplants, summer squash like zucchini and yellow squash, winter squash like pumpkins and butternut squash, okra, avocados, which are also a category of the drupe family, and the most famous family member of the fruits, tomatoes. Tomato, whatever. So we'll start with bell peppers. Bell peppers, also known as sweet peppers, are named for their shape. See? Kind of look like a bell, sort of. Bell peppers are served raw in salads or crudités or cooked in a variety of ways. When selecting your bell pepper, look for peppers with good color that are free of blemishes or soft spots. All varieties of bell pepper start out green, but as they ripen, their colors change to chocolate, red, yellow, orange, purple, even cream, depending on the variety, of course. So, why are the colored peppers twice the price of a green pepper? Well, twice the amount of work during cultivation. It takes about 6 additional weeks of cultivation beyond the green stage for the sweet pepper to change colors. During that time, the pepper must be carefully protected from the elements. Too much rain, too much wind, big temperature changes, even a few degrees, it'll ruin the whole crop. Then, because they are so delicate, they have to be harvested by hand. It takes lots of work to grow a red bell pepper, but it's so worth it. Before we go further, this chapter uses the term crudité fairly often, and you should know what the word means. A crudité is just a fancy French word for vegetable platter. The main difference between an American veggie platter, like the one you're looking at, and a French crudité platter comes down to nothing more than the veggies chosen and the dip. Americans know this one. It's something that you get at your local grocery store. It has a big plastic dome. You get it for a party you're going to where there's supposedly some vegetarian you don't know and haven't ever met, and you don't know what else to get them. Now, the French version, on the other hand, that's an actual appetizer. It's usually served with crunchy baguettes, a lot more variety of par-cooked and shocked vegetables, and more than one dipping sauce. So, crudité, a platter, bunch of vegetables, got a dipping sauce. It's delicious. You should go eat one. Chili peppers! Well, they're related to bell peppers. They're in the same family. However, they are smaller and they can be very hot. What makes them hot is the chemical capsaicin. It's produced by the plant as a form of natural insecticide. It concentrates that stuff in the seeds and the pith, the white membrane that's on the inside of the pepper, which holds the seeds in place. You know what I'm talking about? Care should be taken when handling chili peppers. Wash your hands often, wear gloves. Like bell peppers, chili peppers are available in a wide range of colors from bright red and yellow to black. Flavors can run from pleasantly mild to, whoa, that's not food. That's so hot it's not food. When selecting chili peppers, look for the ones with good color that are free of blemishes or soft spots. And hey, new family, cucumbers. They've got a thin skin, which is sometimes waxed to prevent moisture loss, and an inner core of seeds. Cucumbers have a mild flavor and are excellent in salads or served on those, vegetable platters, the crudités. Make sure when you're buying your cucumber, they are firm and free of soft spots. Now, there are 5 popular varieties you can purchase. From top to bottom on that picture, we got the American cucumber, which is often a bit bigger. It's got bitter seeds. The English cucumber, which is much milder and has tiny seeds. Even though it's packaged as seedless, it has seeds. They lie. Pickling cucumbers, also known as Kirby's, are used to make, you guessed it, pickles. Persian cucumbers, they're quite small. They're sold in packs. And the round, ball-shaped lemon cucumber, which doesn't taste like a lemon at all. Weird. Avocados! Avocados range in color from bright green to black, with smooth to very leathery skin. They have a rich and buttery flavor and a smooth, dense texture. Like bananas, cut avocados are subject to enzymatic browning. Enzymatic browning, remember that from bananas? You cut them and they're exposed to the air and they start to turn brown. For this reason, it's smart to coat the exposed surface of avocado with citrus juice, like lime juice, to help prevent the flesh from turning brown. Avocados are also a member of the drupe family, in addition to being a fruit vegetable. A drupe is a fleshy fruit containing a single seed, like a peach, cherry, olive, or coconut. Avocados are drupes too. So are walnuts. Drupes are cool. It's fun to say drupe. Drupe. There are over 500 varieties of avocado in the world, but most of us are familiar with just two of them. The Hass avocado with its dark, almost black skin, and Florida avocados, also known as green skin or tropical avocados, which have, you guessed it, bright green skin. If you live in Florida like I do, you probably have a neighbor nearby with an avocado tree. Ask around. Someone in your neighborhood is growing them. Green skin avocados love Florida weather. When purchasing an avocado, select ones that are free of blemishes or mold. Ripe avocado flesh should give slightly but not be too soft or mushy. And don't squeeze the avocados in the grocery store so hard. I need to buy one of those and you're ruining them. Eggplants are glossy, firm vegetables that are versatile and can be used with several different cooking methods. While I don't personally like eggplant by itself, it forms the basis of tons of my favorite international recipes like Italian eggplant parmesan, French ratatouille, and Middle Eastern baba ganoush, and Greek moussaka. Almost forgot that one. You didn't know that ratatouille was a fruit vegetable dish? It is. Tomato sauce on the bottom of a pan, covered in alternating layers of summer squash, tomato, eggplant, served with crunchy slices of fresh French bread. I'm hungry. Look for eggplants when you're buying them with a glossy, smooth skin, free of blemishes and soft spots. Eggplants come in several different varieties and range in size from long and thin to short and plump. They also range in color from white to violet to purple to black. There are three big types of eggplant to know. The globe or American eggplant, that's the giant one with a heavy skin and a bitter flavor. That's what you're looking at. The Italian eggplant with its distinct teardrop shape and sweet, creamy flavor. Delicious. Hard to find in America, but delicious. And my favorite, the Japanese eggplant. It's longer, it's thinner than other varieties. It has this really bright, vibrant fuchsia color, perfect for cutting on bias, skinning, stir-frying in some delicious P.F. Chang's spicy eggplant sauce. Hey, fun fact, what we call an eggplant is known as an aubergine in much of Europe. And just because I can, here's Anglophenia's Kate Arnell to explain why.
Eggplant and aubergine. What you call eggplant in America, we call aubergine here in the UK, which we adopted from the French word aubergine. The US term eggplant is named after the white and yellow version of the vegetable, which kind of resembles a goose egg. With a little green hat. Oh, it's actually really adorable. Eggplant or aubergine emojis have recently hit the headlines, as some people have been using them in a rather explicit manner on social media, leading to them being banned on Instagram. Hey, is that an aubergine in your latest Instagram post, or are you just happy to see me?
Winter squash have hard, tough outer shells and large seeds. They range in size from large pumpkins to spaghetti to butternut to the tiny little acorn squashes. They range in flavor from sweet to mild, and some can be bitter. Many have a nutty flavor when they're roasted. They're really versatile and can be used with many different cooking methods. For example, oven cooking, microwave. Oh, you can cook that baby in the microwave. Boiling, steaming. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Look for squash with firm skin that is free of soft spots. Have you noticed a trend? Firm skin, free of soft spots? You're going to hear that over and over and over again. It's a common rule with vegetables. Winter and summer squash are different in three ways. Winter squash has tons of varieties, but summer squash only has two, the zucchini and the yellow. Winter squash tends to be big. Summer squash is much smaller. Winter squash has thick skin and seeds you really can't eat. And summer squash has thin skin and small, soft seeds that are most definitely eaten. The flavor of summer squash is mild and can easily take on the flavor of other foods. Summer squash is really versatile, works well with most cooking methods, in casseroles, baked goods, fried or sautéed, just to name a couple. It's equally good in salads or crudités. Look for squash with bright colors, smooth skin, and, you guessed it, no soft spots. Okay, let's talk tomatoes. Tomatoes are grown in hundreds of varieties and come in several different colors, including red, yellow, and purple. Flavors run from sweet to slightly acidic, and most people agree that they have the best flavor when they're ripened on the vine. Tomatoes are very versatile and are popular in salads as well as hundreds of dishes. They can be stewed, fried, grilled, baked. You can turn them into a tomato sauce, of course, pizza, tomato juice. Not as good as pizza, but whatever. Some people like to be healthy. So you're going to the store to pick up some tomatoes. In general, you should choose tomatoes that have firm, smooth skin and are free of blemishes and soft spots. But what kind to buy? There are lots of varieties. You can buy some Italian Romas like these ones, also known as plum tomatoes. You can pick up a beefsteak tomato, also known as the hamburger tomato. How about some cherry tomatoes? They're tiny, they're delicious. Vine-ripened tomatoes, where you can actually buy them on the vine. Of course, green tomatoes, because how can you make fried green tomatoes without green tomatoes? The list goes on forever. It seems every year there is a new tomato that everyone gets excited about for a while until the new fad hits and that variety is more or less forgotten. There is one special category, though, heirloom or heritage tomatoes. Maybe you've heard them called ugly tomatoes. And that just seems mean. In general, the term heirloom is given to any vegetable that has not been genetically modified and is not grown from commercially produced hybrid seeds. Instead, they are grown from seeds saved by farmers from year to year. As a result, when you're eating a true heirloom tomato from a generations-old farm, you're eating the exact same tomato that was grown by that farmer's great-grandfather. To understand what makes heirloom tomatoes special, you have to understand just a bit of how commercial tomatoes are produced. Generally speaking, farmers purchase the seeds they plant each year. The seed manufacturers are these giant companies which have spent years and years and millions of dollars tinkering around with crop seeds, modifying the plants through hybridization or genetic modification to grow big, to grow fast, to resist pests, and to look good. Farmers aren't allowed to use tomatoes from one year's harvest to create seeds for the next. They can get sued by those big seed companies. They can find themselves in all kinds of legal trouble if they try to make their own seeds. Ever wonder why all tomatoes taste kind of the same? Sort of bland and kind of gross? Well, it's easy. Everybody's growing the same dang plant. A true heirloom tomato? Much better. Much better. Pigments in fresh fruit and vegetables are sometimes nutrients as well as being colors. Lycopene is an example. Lycopene is the chemical found in tomatoes which turns their skin red, kind of like beta-carotene in carrots, which turns them orange. There are two things you need to know about lycopene. First, lycopene is an antioxidant, a chemical that stops the chain reactions caused by free radicals, those highly reactive, destructive changes that can occur in body tissue when you're exposed to, say, air or water pollution, unhealthy chemicals, even ultraviolet light. Free radicals are associated with all kinds of health problems, so eating as many antioxidants as possible is good for you. In a weird twist, raw tomatoes are not as good for you as cooked tomatoes, because there's a lot more lycopene available after a tomato is cooked, which is strange. A bowl of spaghetti is actually better for you than a raw tomato salad. Good to know. In general, don't store your tomatoes in the refrigerator unless they have been cut. Fresh tomatoes in the refrigerator is a rookie mistake. Why? Well, think about it for a minute. Tomatoes are a summer vegetable and grow from a plant that would quickly die at 41 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature of your fridge. For a really long time, chefs have agreed that tomatoes stored in the fridge lose aroma, flavor, and get a sort of smushy texture called mealiness. There is actually some argument about this old kitchen rule going on right now, and the food scientists are sort of bickering amongst themselves. Until they figure out the new rules, we'll keep storing our fresh tomatoes on the kitchen counter, out of direct sunlight, not in a plastic bag, and not in anything that would trap moisture. So that's all the fruit vegetables. All of them. See? That wasn't so hard. Up next, we'll chat about two new categories, flower and green leafy vegetables. Till then, I'll see you in the kitchen.